The nidus for starting the vein program at CCA was there was a profound unmet need for vascular interventions in the cardiology culture in the upstate area. In Albany, there is not a cardiologist that is doing any vein procedures. It is usually part of a vascular surgeon's armamentarium. So there was really sort of for our cardiovascular practice a profound unmet need for all of our patients with any edema in their legs, particularly after they get any bypass procedures where their veins are compromised and just struggle with either insufficiency, varicosities, or just edema in general. So that was sort of the beginning proposition for wanting a vein clinic at Capital Cardiology. Through CVL, I had the opportunity to work with one of the cardiologists down in Louisiana at CIS. Dr. Amin and his team welcomed me down to not only shadow their practice so that we could mimic what he was doing down in Louisiana up in the Albany area, but also allowed me to participate in the procedures for vascular intervention. So not only was he a wonderful teacher, but also a great mentor and really had the ability to allow me to do as much as I wanted in his clinic. So that way I felt that we could truly get the vein clinic off the ground up in New York. For our Go Live Day, both Dr. Amin as well as Eric, who's one of his ultrasound techs, came up to accompany us on our first day to make sure that everything went as smooth as possible. Not only that, but Eric was very instrumental in providing us with the equipment that they use down in CIS and really just answering any questions that we had, ongoing throughout not only the Go Live procedure, but even just all of the prep that goes into just trying to start a vein clinic. The nice thing about being able to work with, Dr. Amin and his team through the CVL platform is that we continue to have dialogue back and forth. So it allows me to have sort of a contact person, another fellow cardiologist who's doing the same things in a different area to stay in contact. We do have text back and forth. I don't have any reservations in being able to call him or even FaceTime him should there be a need. And the same thing with Eric. Eric has been great in answering any questions, also just following up and seeing how the vein clinic's going. So it's nice to have that collaboration from a distance. The CVL platform, I think, has really enabled not only cardiologists, but other fellow physicians to have access to other providers, other cardiologists in not only just your area. So a lot of times, being in Albany, New York, you are sort of limited by geographic location. So, having the ability to not only be able to go to a different state, but also have a platform that enables, and it really just, it harbors the relationship between physicians that may not have ever been there in the first place, which is, it's just really nice. It allows me to, have collaboration with, Dr. Amin and other cardiologists that I may not have ever encountered on my own. Since we went live in July of this year, we've done a combination of RF ablations as well as sclerotherapy with Varithena to treat not only venous insufficiency within the great saphenous vein, but also non-healing ulcers and varicose veins. So sort of a collection of conditions in the lower extremities. We've had wonderful outcomes with both the RF ablation in the great saphenous vein with no complication of endothelial-induced thrombus. And we've also had some great results with the sclerotherapy in the varicosities to alleviate symptoms, not only that pertain to venous insufficiency, but also with edema, with restless leg. We've had really good outcomes with some of our patients that have symptom relief in as little as a couple days. Some take a little bit longer, but everyone that we've encountered has had some improvement in their symptoms, regardless of the modality that we've used thus far. The future endeavors for the vein clinic at Capital Cardiology are really to try to have access to as many people that need us. It truly was an unmet need for our practice that has a number of cardiologists in the Capital District, and classically these people have had to look in other locations as far south as Westchester just to have access to vein therapies that are potentially just non-surgical, which has classically been some of the treatments. The goal is really to keep expanding and just reach as many people as possible, just to get some symptom relief. It's a big problem that is really underdiagnosed and undertreated.